where they talk about a topic while they eat. So I figured, that seems perfect. I want to do that. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm gonna share a little bit about my story, about how I quit veganism and then I came back, and then I'll also talk a little bit about those that have stopped being vegan and my opinion on it. It's gonna be some difficult God. My head, no, stupid. Gotta change this to here. Alright. This is so weird. Oh God, I don't know how to do this anymore. Jesus, what is wrong? Okay, so I've been away from YouTube for a while now. Probably a year or two, maybe 2 years. I can't really remember. But what happened was that I got very sick after I was vegan for a while. I was diagnosed with a disease called ulcerative colitis. That's an inflammatory bowel disease. And so I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to still make vegan videos. Oh, I should have fixed my hair. God, what is this? Anyway, so I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to keep on making vegan videos. Because, here's the reason. When you have inflammatory bowel disease, it is difficult for some people, to process fiber. And if you're vegan, you know where you get your fiber, and that's from whole plants. And so I figured I should get back on the wagon and share my story. I'm not going to share all of it. I already have shared some of it. But I did quit veganism for a couple of months, and then I got back on it once I became better. So I wanted to share that story, and at the same time, one of the lovely trends that I've watched for a while now, actually. It started with when I saw a video from Mary's Test Kitchen. She talked about Mommy Tang, and I was like, who's Mommy Tang? She said, my channel is not like Mommy Tang's, or I'm no Mommy Tang, something like that. And I had to Google Mommy Tang. Who is that? And then I just completely lost it. I became completely obsessed by mukbangs, and since then I'm just in love with mukbangs. And now when Mommy Tang took a break from it, I started following other YouTubers that had mukbangs, and one of those YouTubers are Cheap Lazy Vegan. So I figured I really like her style, hers and Mommy Tang's style, where they talk about a topic while they eat. So I figured, that seems perfect. I want to do that. So that's what I'm doing today. Okay, so let's dig in. I'm not quite sure how to approach this. I kind of made the food like presentable, but it's not really practical. I mean, how do I can't put this up here, then it doesn't look good. So I think I'm gonna just eat it like this. Oh, so good. So all of this is vegan. I have some chickpeas added to a stir fry and some onion, and then I added some curry with this and some white rice. Oh, so good. It's the first time it was the first time that I bought this curry. And I'm definitely gonna buy it again. It's so good. with it, just plain water. What water? What the hell is that? So this is why I kind of this is kind of why I avoid spontaneous videos, because I love a script where I can practice over and over to say something, because I'm not really good at talking that much. So we'll see if this mukbang becomes any thing that I can use. We'll see if I can actually post it on YouTube, but whatever. So when I saw Ravana quitting veganism, the way she quit, it was kind of I felt sorry for her, and the reason why is because I've kind of been in the same situation myself. I wanted to quit, but not because I'm against veganism, but because I was really sick and I couldn't figure out how to become better on a vegan diet. And so when it comes to IBD and inflammatory bowel disease, it can be very graphic, and it's probably not the best topic to talk about when I'm having a mukbang. So I'm gonna spare you the details. But anyway, so what happened was that I lost 10 kilos, which is a lot. I think it's almost 20 pounds or something. And now I've gained it back again. So if you think I'm skinny now, just imagine how skinny I was before. Love rice. And that's one of the common side effects from having IBD is weight loss. And it's not really something that I wanted, because I feel I'm very comfortable with the body that I have now. These are so good. I'm gonna film the package afterwards. But anyway, so when I went on this really strict diet for 6 months because of my IBD. I was trying to repair my gut and my colon, basically, because when you have IBD you do bleed a lot, so there are ulcers or sores in your colon, and then certain foods they really don't help, like spicy food and a lot of hard fiber. So I had to cook the food a lot, and I stuck to like 12 ingredients or something like that. And this was a program from Pamela Popper. She really helped me a lot. I got in contact with her, she answered my email, and we talked on the phone. I gave her tons of medical information, and I talked to her colleague, Julie, who is a clinical nutritionist. So even though Pamela Popper is a naturopath, which kind of sends a big red flag in my head, I still got a lot of reassurance from her colleague, who was a clinical nutritionist, that what I was eating was actually adequate. So I went on 6 months on the same diet, And as I got better, I could reintroduce more and more food. And I went kind of crazy after a while. And I really struggled mentally because I couldn't eat food, and it was the same thing over and over, every single meal, every single day for, I don't know, I think it was 4 months or something before I could actually introduce more foods. And one of the foods on the list was organic animal products that doesn't contain antibiotics. And so I figured either I can just stop this program, or I'm gonna start eating animal products just to get me through. Because I'm not the type of vegan who is put off by animal products. I think they look great and I think they taste great, but I choose to not eat it because of the ethical side. I don't want to support that industry. I think it's, I'm gonna leave my opinion out of it. But anyway, so I figured I'm dedicated to this program and I want to get through it. And so I started eating animal products after a couple of months. And I did that for 2 or 3 months. I can't really remember. It's a while now. And I didn't get like any better from the animal product, but I did feel better mentally because it wasn't the same boring stuff every single day. So anyway, I started getting better after a while. I started actually getting better within a week. Then the pain in my stomach went away. And it was kind of like a 2-step forward, 1 step back kind of progress. And again, I'm gonna spare you the bloody, literally, details about it, since we're eating. Oh, crap, I lost some down here. And so one of the key things to get me through was, I believe, animal products. I actually, when you eat sweet potatoes every single goddamn day, you go kind of nuts. Luckily, I love brown rice, so that's great, but I did have to eat a lot of sweet potatoes. So anyway, I'm off my meds now. I've gained 10 kilos. I feel great, but as a result of probably the disease is that I have vision problems now. So a probable side effect of having the disease is that you have your vision reduced, and that's what I have. I've got something called lateral nystagmus, and I had it before, but it went away, and then I got it again. And one of the things I gotta avoid on this new diet that I'm having is gluten and dairy, and since I was already vegan, dairy was not an issue. But another thing that I started eating a lot was mock meat when I went vegan, so I think that might have messed up my system, since I'm probably already prone to gluten. A lot of people in my family has celiac disease and gluten intolerance, so I I never really had that problem until I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. So anyway, this new way of living, gluten-free, that is not by choice. I really was devastated when I heard that, because I love my bread, I love my pasta, oh god, I love gluten so much. But it's worth it. For me, it seems to be working. My vision problems reversed. It's not 100%, unfortunately. When I get tired or stressed, then they act up a little bit. But as long as I keep my diet clean, as in I don't eat things that I'm not supposed to in regards to my IBD, then I usually don't have any problems. So when the problems occur is that when I drink coffee, which sucks, I love coffee, and when I drink alcohol and spicy food is the worst. So this curry here, that's not spicy. So if you love non-spicy food, you should check that curry out. So anyway, so the whole time that I was eating animal products, I still felt vegan. And it was really, I gotta read the definition of veganism at the Vegan Society's website. And that is, veganism is a way of living which seeks to exclude as far as possible and practical all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. And I still felt that I followed that definition while I was eating animal products, because I felt it was necessary for me to get better at that time. And you hear a lot of people say that when you have, veganism doesn't cause disease, unless you do it wrong. And if you have a disease, you don't have to stop being vegan, and so on. But I truly do believe that there are exceptions, and one of the exceptions, obviously, if you need to hunt in order to survive, then you can't be vegan, obviously. But to anyone watching this, you probably have the luxury to be vegan. But in my case, I felt that I really didn't have the luxury, because I reacted to fiber. And it's not okay to just eat refined food. That doesn't really work. White rice and oil, I had to be careful with a lot of things. Protein and fat, I had to reduce that. And I ate so much food. And as you know, protein is filling, so when you can't eat as much protein as you want to, because you get sick of it, literally sick, then it's kind of annoying. So I was hungry a lot, ate a lot. I still lost weight, 10 kilos, as I said. But anyway, so like I mentioned, I still felt vegan. And that's what I think all of these vegan YouTubers are going through when they're getting sick. That they still feel vegan and they're trying so much to fix the problem by being vegan in a certain way and so on, but then it just ends up not working. And now that I've repaired my colon and I know somewhat how to avoid getting sick, in my case, I can go back to being vegan, which is really nice. I really missed it. And it was, even though I don't really have a problem eating animal products taste-wise, it was still a problem because I didn't want to support that industry, but it still, you know, felt like I didn't have a choice. So anyway, now that I saw that video from Ravana, my heart poured out to her. I was lucky enough, I'm not a big YouTuber, so I don't really have that problem of being outed as a non-vegan, but like she was. But I was able to sit down, make a video, make it on my own terms, and explaining why I'm no longer vegan. And she did say that she wanted to. I haven't watched her whole video, but I have seen clips of it, and I've heard that she wanted to come out as a non-vegan on her own terms, but wasn't able to because she was outed. And that's really gonna suck, because then you get framed as a non-vegan. And at the time she was, but I don't believe she was a non-vegan the entire journey. I think that from here to there, here's the pen. So from here to there, she was vegan, and then she started getting sick, and then she started experimenting with animal products to see if she got better. That's what I think happened. So I do think that it's a shame what happened, and I do feel sorry for her. And I've also watched Kalal's videos, and I believe she actually has tried a lot of different things. And one of the things that I noticed was that she went to Ravana for help on health, and she didn't get better. And then Ravana got sick. So I think that the tip that Ravana got from someone wasn't good enough, and that she has suffered health-wise as a result. But you never know. But since Kalal got some help from since Kalal got some help from Ravana, and she couldn't stick to it and went back to eating, supplementing with animal products, and the same thing happens to Ravana, then I think there was something wrong with the diet. It's kind of a coincidence that, it's a big coincidence that both of them got sick. That's just my theory. But I do think one of the things that Unnatural Vegan talks about is that most people go back to not being vegan. So most vegans go back to not being vegan. And I think that's true. And one of the things that Rose says, Cheaply is a vegan, she says that we are social beings, and when you become vegan, you kind of get frozen out from society, sort of. So since we're social beings, being outside of the mainstream, it can be very difficult, so it's no wonder that people go back to eating animal products. I think there is a sort of pressure to do it, and it's just in your genes really to go back to doing what everyone else does. So I'm not really gonna, I don't really care if people are vegan or not. It really, I really don't care. But what I do care about is that some people just can't be vegan, and we have to acknowledge it. That's what happened to me. I really struggled, and I was so incredibly sick. And when you lose 10 kilos and you're borderline underweight, you get desperate. You gotta try everything. And as you might know, animal products do have more calories in them than plants, whole plants. It's one of the ways to not go down any further in weight. So I do think we gotta acknowledge that not everyone are able to be vegan. And if they are, then they're not maybe able to be vegan for the rest of their lives. But here's what I also think. I do think it becomes easier. When I first became vegan, there was one type of milk. It was 5 years ago, here in Bergen. It was one type of plant-based milk, and that was in a really special store. So I had to go to the city, to this special store, and buy this really expensive plant-based milk in order to get any plant-based milk. And now, there's so many varieties just at the regular store. So I do think it will be a lot easier to be vegan in the future. It already is a lot easier now. So I figured it was about time through all of this I'm no longer vegan trend, if you want to call it that is happening right now. I think that it's good to have the opposite, where I'm vegan again. And here is why. Now I've gotten well, I've changed my diet, I now eat gluten-free, which some IBD patients has to do, and it seems to be working for me. So I definitely want to keep on being vegan as long as I can. And I don't want to be labeled as someone who was never vegan if I ever fall off again. I don't want to say that I fell off, but if I ever choose to, or feel like I can't be vegan anymore, I feel that so the camera died, of course. I filmed like, I don't know, 30 minutes or something. I think that's the cap. But anyway, so one of the things that I really hate, I heard Jacqueline Glenn, she's talked a lot about it. She's an atheist like me, and she was very religious before. She was brought up in a Catholic home, went to Catholic school and so on. And then when she became an atheist, people said to her, "Oh, you were never really Catholic, because if you were, you would stay Catholic." And that's the same mentality that I hear some people say about ex-vegans that I really hate. Oh, you were vegan for 9 years and then you stopped eating animal products? I don't get it. That means you were never vegan. Oh, it's so stupid. I really hate when people say that. So I really think that some people, they quit veganism for various reasons. And I do think it's important that we have people like Unnatural Vegan who calls out bad types of vegan marketing, if you will. When you're vegan in a way that most likely will make you sick, like 50 bananas a day type of vegan. You know who I'm thinking about. Then I think that it's good to call them out and say, hey, eat your legumes. You can still gain weight on eating fruits. Get some healthy fats in there. Have you lost your period? Oh, maybe then there's something wrong with your diet. So just because you're vegan doesn't mean that you're doing it right. So I followed clinical nutritionists' advice, and I got very sick due to my disease. And then I cut out gluten, stayed away from certain triggers, and now I'm fine again. So I do think that you gotta have a default where we say if you're gonna be vegan, you're gonna have to eat legumes pretty much every day for the rest of your life. That's how it is. And I was kind of shocked because I did eat legumes when I went vegan, but I didn't eat them every single day. Hated chickpeas. I hated tofu when I went vegan. Oh god. But now I love it. It's so good. This had chickpeas in it and I love it. Chickpeas combined with cashews. That is my favorite. Oh, so good. But anyway, there's a lot more I could say, but I finished eating, so I'm gonna leave it at that. So hopefully I will keep making videos. I really missed it. I felt something has been missing in my life, the time that I haven't made videos. But now I feel more confident in talking about my experience and still labeling myself vegan. And I think during these times where there is a lot of people quitting veganism, I think it's also very important to give light to what brings people back to being vegan. So, I hope you enjoyed spending time with me, and hopefully I'll see you soon.